Hello and welcome to the next lecture. One of the ways people organize their work in R is through the use of R projects, a built-in functionality of RStudio that helps to keep all your related files together. RStudio provides a great guide on how to use projects, so definitely check that out. Link will be provided in our today's blog. So what is an R project? When you make a project, it creates a folder where all files will be kept, which is helpful for organizing yourself and keeping multiple projects separate from each other. When you reopen a project, RStudio remembers what files were open and will restore the work environment as if you had never left, which is very helpful when you are starting back up on a project after some time off. Functionally, creating a project in R will create a new folder and assign that as the working directory so that all files generated will be assigned to the same directory. What are the benefits to using R projects? The main benefit of using projects is that it starts the organization process off right. It creates a folder for you and now you have a place to store all of your input data, your code, and the output of your code. Everything you are working on within a project is self-contained, which often means finding things is much easier, and there is only one place to look. Also, since everything related to one project is all in the same place, it is much easier to share your work with others, either by directly sharing the folder or files or by associating it with version control software. We will talk more about linking projects in R with version control systems in a future lesson entirely dedicated to the topic. Finally, since RStudio remembers what documents you had open when you closed the session, it is easier to pick a project up after a break and everything is set up just as you left it. There are three ways to make a project. First, from scratch. This will create a new directory for all your files to go in. Second, from an existing folder. This will link an existing directory with RStudio. Third is from version control. This will clone an existing project onto your computer. So don't worry too much about this one. You will get more familiar with it in the next few lessons. Let's create a project from scratch, which is often what you will be doing. Now open RStudio. Under File, select New Project. You can also create a project by using Projects toolbar and selecting New Project in the drop-down menu, or there is a New Project shortcut in the toolbar. Since we are starting from scratch, select New Project and a window will appear. Select New Directory and when prompted about the project type, select New Project. Pick a name for your project and for this time save it to your desktop. This will create a folder on your desktop where all of the files associated with this project will be kept. Click Create Project, then a blank RStudio session should open like this. A few things to note here are, in the files quadrant of the screen, you can see that RStudio has made this new directory your working directory and generated a single file with the extension .rprog. In the upper right of the window, there is a projects toolbar that states the name of your current project and has a drop-down menu with a few different options that we will talk about in a second. Now, if you want to open an existing project, that is as simple as double-clicking the .rprog file on your computer. You can accomplish the same from within RStudio by opening RStudio and going to File menu and then Open Project. You can also use the Project toolbar and open the drop-down menu and select Open Project. Quitting a project is as simple as closing your RStudio window. You can quit a project by just closing the RStudio window from here. You can also use the Project toolbar by clicking on the drop-down menu and choosing Close Project. Finally, you can go to the File menu and select Close Project from here, and this will do the same. All of these options will quit a project, and doing so will cause RStudio to write which documents are currently open so they can be restored when you start back up again, and it then closes the R session. When you set up your project, you can tell it to save environment. So for example, all of your variables and data tables will be preloaded when you reopen the project. But this is not the default behavior. You have to ask RStudio to do so. Now the projects toolbar is also an easy way to switch between projects. Click on the drop-down menu and choose Open Project and find your new project you want to open. This will save the current project, close it, and then open the new project within the same window. If you want multiple projects open at the same time, do the same but instead select Open Project in New Session. Now this can also be accomplished through the File menu where those same options are available. When you are setting up a project, it can be helpful to start out creating a few directories. Try a few strategies and see what works best for you. But most file structures are set up around having a directory containing the raw data, a directory that you keep scripts or R files in, and a directory for the output of your code. For example, like this. If you set up these folders before you start, it can save your organizational headaches later on in a project when you cannot quite remember where something is. So in this lesson, we have covered what projects in R are, why you might want to use them, how to open or close or switch between projects, and some best practices to best set you up for organizing yourself. See you in the next lecture.